How many months have you been pulling your hair out trying to get leads and sales for your coaching business? In this video, I'm going to show you why you need a peak performance business program, who am I and what qualifies me to teach, how a peak performance business strategy works, who I work with, and how to get started. So the first thing is, why do you need a peak performance business program? So just quickly start off with, there's a guy called Ray Kroc who started McDonald's, and there's also another guy called Colonel Sanders who started KFC. I'm just wondering what you think those guys have in common. And before you say it, I just got to mention it's got nothing to do with the restaurant business. Or what about these guys? Henry Ford, Bill Gates, John Rockefeller, Richard Branson. What do all these guys have in common? All these billionaires. Well, what it was is they were able to sell their vision to other people. Mark Zuckerberg did that. Bill Gates did that. A lot of billionaires have to be able to sell their vision to other people, usually at the start, to actually fund the actual business. And if they can't do that, then, no one succeeds much by themselves. They need a team of people, investors, and people working towards a common goal to be able to actually have a successful company. People are constantly moving from pain, their current situation, and they're trying to move towards their desired situation, which is pleasure. And all you're doing when you're getting these leads and you're actually making the sales calls, is you're just facilitating that as easy as possible. And what I'll do is I'll go into a bit more exactly how to do that. So think about how many sales you could have had just in the last year, but missed out on because you didn't have the right strategy. Imagine if over the last 12 months you had a peak performance business strategy that actually doubled your conversion ratio. Okay, so if you were making, let's just say 60 grand or 200 grand or 500 grand, a million, 10 million, if you doubled that, it's quite a significant amount of money to lose. So which is why we need to learn a peak performance business strategy to help us create wealth faster. And when this business strategy includes lead generation, includes coaching around sales and negotiation strategies, and also fulfillment, and then how to use those, those trusted clients to leverage more leads and get the whole thing moving. Okay, because a negotiation strategy is going to help you not just sell things or teach others, but it's going to also help you build your team and convert information as well. Many coaches and consultants have problems in their businesses because they bleed time by just working in the company. A lot of people have got employee mindsets and working in a company rather than a system that works for them. They end up not spending enough time improving their sales strategy. What they do is they focus on fulfillment and delivery and not constantly converting enough leads into sales. And what happens is their business looks a bit like this. They make some money, they try and fulfill, and then, they forget about sales. And what happens is revenue just goes up and down, and they never really get anywhere. So it's such an easy and common trap to fall into. Most people fall into this trap when they're starting a business. What they do is they get immersed in what they're doing each day and they hope things will change. But it's actually really, really dangerous, because what it does is it prevents us, ourselves from growing a real business and keeps ourselves in the job that we own. We end up wasting time doing hard work that we often don't like, drains our energy until we're burnt out. But ultimately, we're missing experience with our friends and family. And the worst thing about all this is when you get comfortable in that situation, months and months and years can go by. And the longer you leave it, the harder it is to get out that predicament. So how do we grow a business that works for us and not the other way around? We need a peak performance business strategy that maximizes every single opportunity. We work so hard to get these leads in the first place. To not maximize the opportunities is just crazy. Because once we have a reasonable cash flow, we gain the time and confidence to focus on automating the rest of our business so it can scale a lot faster. So basically, who am I and what qualifies me to be a business consultant? Well, my name's Caroline Douthwaite. I've been in sales for 24 years as a founder of Snowball Assets. I built a successful high six-figure solar power company and built a high five-figure digital marketing agency. I managed teams averaging around $500,000 a month back in 2007 to 2009. I've trained hundreds of people in peak performance negotiation strategies in direct sales teams. So I'll give you 4 quick examples of businesses I've worked in or owned where the right strategy made me a high 6-figure income. So this was the first one. It was a Big Blue Diving Center when I was 20 years old. I started working here in 1997. And I actually, in the bottom left here, we actually worked in the Big Blue Dive Center. And I actually helped save this business by the 2 owners were actually German and Italian. They just got married. And I actually helped save this business by networking with all my English contacts in Mallorca. Yeah, we got to the stage where they were just knocking people back. They were so busy. And then from there, I went to a British Telecom call center and actually won BT in the box for 3 years in a row, where the top 5 salespeople out of 1,000 go with the director at the St. James's Park. So I won that 3 years in a row. And as far as I'm aware, it still hasn't been beaten. I was a sales manager, had 30 staff, making about $400,000 to $600,000 in a company called AFL Arbitrage. And also founded a solar power business. And out of 3,819 companies, we actually were second in the whole country. And that was in 2010. So we did very, very well. And this is an example of my turnover. So I went from 100 grand up to 785,000, I think it was. 785,000. This is my 2016 tax return. So 3, how can a peak performance business strategy work for you? So what you need is, you really need education. Okay, that's basically the foundation. Once you get the education, you really need to get out there and you need to practice, and you need to start making sales. But the problem is with that, a lot of people, unless someone's really holding their hand, and when you're working remotely, that can't really happen that way. People, they start losing confidence and they start losing drive and ambition. So you really need to be held accountable. Why haven't you done this? What are you going to do to change that? We need to be holding you accountable regularly and making sure that you get the work done. Because we also help you with a proven strategy. So when you're actually speaking to these clients, you're going to help build trust with building rapport. And we've got a whole section on that as well. And then really, it's ultimately really about getting authority, because once you have authority, it's very easy to sell. For example, if Tony Robbins jumped on the phone with you and said, I'm Tony Robbins, I'm happy to help you out, most people would just jump at the opportunity because he's got the authority. So really what it's about building a micro authority in your particular niche and then building from that. So the 2 main tools that we need for peak performance business strategy, one is education, and the second most important is staying on track. Because this is a proven strategy. If you stay on track with this, you're going to make sales, you're going to make money, and you're going to grow up business in the first 30 days. It's a 90-day course, but when you start making sales, we want to start getting that sales coming in within the end of the 30 days. Okay, so you really want to be getting $10,000 within 30 days of starting this course. So the way we actually maximize customer information retention, this is really important. The way we deliver the information so you actually remember it. Okay. So this is a pyramid of retention rates. So what we do is we look at 30 by doing demonstrations, and all of our training is in audio and visual. So you get the maximum retention. From there, we have group discussions, and then we get you to practice and actually go out and do the work that we've taught you. If you then want to go further, you can then start teaching others, how to build a coaching business later on. But, at the beginning, what you should really do is when you're a consultant is really lean into the experiences that you've already had in the past, and use that knowledge and those experiences to build a coaching business around. And once you've got that successfully moving and you're making, 100 grand a month or whatever, then you can move into other areas within consultancy arena. So how do we stay on track and not get distracted? Well, the group coaching will actually hold you accountable. So we'll have a regular once a week group coaching where we can ask questions and we can actually all have a chat together and get the answers that you need in order to, drive your business forward. But we also have a panic button where basically if you're getting, confused or, something isn't working, you don't have to wait for that entire week. And this is quite unique to this particular course. Not a lot of other people are doing it out there, if any, where, if you actually press that panic button, which is really just sending us a message, we can get on a call usually within an hour or two or within at least 24 hours. Depending on what time of the day it is. If it's in the middle of the night and you're in the US or, I'm actually in New Zealand. So if you're in New Zealand or Australia, that works really, really well. And we should be able to get on the phone within a few hours with you. Okay. And it's really going to help you build momentum and the confidence that you need to start really getting these deals across the line. So if you're a coach or consultant and you want to maximize your conversion ratio, so you have 0 wasted leads, and grow your business to 6 or even 7 figures, you've definitely come to the right place. So now I'd like to pause for a second and let this point really sink in because it's a big one. This is really important. You see, what happened is, just a very, very quick story. Back in, in the 1800s, everyone was trying to build a plane that flew by adding a larger and larger engine. But what happened was the actual aerodynamics of this example, wasn't there. It didn't create lift, and they were just trying to go faster and faster and faster. And we now know today a car can do over 250k and not take off. So because it's actually got the opposite of an aerofoil, is pushing the car down. So what happened was the Wright brothers actually focused on the plane itself and the aerodynamics of that wing. And then once they had a plane that worked, they basically just strapped on a light engine and it just flew. And that's really what this is about. You can go for month and month and year after year, trying something and trying harder and harder and harder. It doesn't work. It just pulls you down. It makes life just really hard, because there's usually only a few effective ways and 1,000 ineffective ways to accomplish most things in life. And sales and business is no different. Actually, the right strategy is almost exactly the opposite of what most coaches and consultants are actually doing out there at the moment. A lot of us are obsessed with getting a few customers. Then what they do is they spend most of their time on fulfillment and delivery and forget about the sales strategy. We get a couple of people across the line, like I said before, the focus on those people, and then, they drop off at the end of the course and then out doing, getting more people. And it just goes up and down and up and down. And I've seen this and I've even been there myself. So it happens a lot, however, this mindset is a flawed mindset, because what they end up doing is they never, ever scale their business. They never find the time to build a team, optimize their sales strategy, or build automation. They stay stuck in their small business that stagnates over time. They get comfortable, never grow, start thinking it's impossible, lose motivation, lose confidence, convince themselves it's impossible, then go back to what they were doing or chase a new shiny object. I mean, if you've been in the coaching space long enough, you'll see this time and time and time again. So let's get down to work. All they really need is a really good sales strategy. Once you get sales, you can maintain cash flow momentum, grow fulfillment and delivery at a steady and manageable rate. So if you get a couple of clients on, you really want to be spending, half your time at least still in sales and still, focusing on, getting more and more leads across the line and growing that revenue. But, don't focus too much on delivery, but there needs to be enough so the business grows in a non-lopsided way. So it grows, steady. All the departments within a business grows at a good rate, and that will help you get to the level where you can actually focus on the real things that, you love doing, which is why you probably started a business in the first place, So how does a peak performance business program for work for you? It shows you how to get leads organically. We also do paid methods as well. We'll show you how to maximize your sales conversion ratio. So once you get those leads booking in, we're going to show you exactly what to say, all the scripts, everything that you need, and hold you accountable and get those deals across the line and get that money in your bank account. And then what we're going to then do is show you how to leverage those clients to actually get more leads, and it perpetuates that way. and you can start implementing these strategies straight away. So lead generation is much easier with a trusted brand. So this is the first step. Use reviews in your stories posts that show a transformation. We also use results-based posts and educational posts. So those are the three sort of posts that we use in the right areas, along with DMing and also getting people booked in for your 15-minute discovery call to really, we also have a qualifying strategy, but once they've qualified, really a 15-minute call is just to make sure they're a good fit. And it's kind of a second level, because there's nothing worse than taking people on who don't do the work and, they're just not in the game. We need people who are hungry to obviously build a business and get up to 5, 6, even 7 figures as quickly as possible. So, always remember to make your help VIP. So you don't want to take on everyone. You only want to take on a very, very select few, and making sure that, you're not working with the wrong people. And the way you do that is you use a unique selling point. A unique selling point is something that's going to differentiate you from your competitors, where you're going to use to leverage more and more leads, and make your help specific and talk to the pain that your niche is actually having. I see a lot of websites, a lot of funnels, and what they do is they focus on what they're doing. We'll say something like how we can help such and such with such and such. But that's not talking to their pain. That's just explaining what you're doing. What you need to do is you need to think of the top 2 or 3 pains that your actual avatar or your target market's having, and those 3 things need to be explained in several different ways, so people actually who are suffering these pains will gravitate towards your offer. And when you're actually on these sales calls, you really want to be building up rapport and finding out the pains of these avatars. I can't stress this enough. People don't buy things with logic, they buy things with emotion, and then they justify that with logic. I'm sure you've heard that before. So how do we find out what that emotional trigger is? Well, what we need to do is we need to ask open questions and dive really deep into why they do those things. Ask open questions basically is, it allows them to talk about themselves, which is what they probably like. And you've got to make it all about them as well. You've really got to dive deep into what their emotional drivers are. What keeps them up at night? What are they interested in? What motivates them? What are they passionate about? Everyone's different. Never assume anything. What pains are your avatars suffering? And what are they doing? Sorry. What are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? Why are they doing what they're doing? Okay, I read it wrong. And how have they done in the past to solve these problems? Okay. So very quickly, just a little bit of a tip. Open questions start with who, what, where, why, and when. And when you use these questions, you're getting the maximum amount of information with the minimum amount of questions asked. You don't want to be asking them a heap of questions. You want to ask them 3 to sort of 5 really good questions, depending on how much they talk. We also use closed questions as well. Questions that start with can, does, is, could, will, have, and do. These questions usually answered yes or no, and we use that later on in the pitch when we're dealing with sales calls. But, a sales process should never be too complicated. I mean, I've been doing sales of like 24 years, and the simpler you make it, the more effective it actually is, to a degree. I mean, you don't want to make it too simple. You really just want to block it into 3 sections. Rapport, which is 60% of it, pitching, and once you've done your pitch, you trial close, cover objections, and you close, and you get the deals done. Now, it might sound that easy, but that's the way you want to look at this at the start. Have you ever heard of KISS? Keep it simple, stupid. That's how you make sure you stay on track. You have these 3 things in your head, and all you're doing is you just jump on these calls, and you're trying to just, the first question should have nothing to do with business. It really shouldn't. It should have something to do with anything other than business, because you're trying to understand that person, and they're not going to open up if they think you're just trying to get money out of them. or if you're just trying to close a deal, you have to genuinely be interested. And if you're not, I wouldn't be doing sales. I'd be getting someone else to do it for you. It's really important that you connect with these people on an emotional level. So this is just an idea. So 40% of a salesperson, and then 60% of the client. Okay, that's how much discussion should be when you're building the actual rapport, or even in the whole sales call. 40-60 is a really good ratio. So after you've built rapport and won some trust, the information you gathered will give the ammunition and the agility needed to tailor your pitch. Okay, so it'll resonate and excite a prospect on an emotional level about a potential results they will be getting. And then what it essentially does is it opens the door for a potential sale. And then once you actually achieve this, we've gone into it a bit deeper than that, obviously. You'll be on a easy street to close deals, will become effortless. So that's really where we're trying to get to. So who do we work with? So I work with coaches and consultants making at least $5,000 a month. If you're making $2,000 or $3,000 a month and you just got one or two sales, we'll still consider it. If you've got the right attitude. We need people who feel like they've missed out on a few converting leads or deals, I should say, or people who haven't got enough leads coming through, who want to, just get the quantity up, and so we can get on those sales calls and start getting deals across the line. We need people who are serious about increasing sales conversions and revenue and determined to be the best in their industry at what they do. So people I don't want to work with, because, there's a lot of people out there who contact us. We don't take everyone on. So we really just want to explain this. We don't want to be taking on anyone who's just thinking about an agency or coaching business. We don't have enough time for that. We really need people who have committed to it and who are all in. If you're someone who blames others for their mistakes or makes excuses to complain, don't bother contacting us. Please, people who just want information and not ready to invest in themselves, if that's you, send us a message. If it's just one little chat, we can do that. But we don't really want to be taking on someone unless they're thinking, okay, I'm pretty much ready, just want to ask a few more questions and then I want to be all in. We need people who are 100% committed. And we're not bothered about, if you're not serious about crushing it in the online world, then don't contact us. 2 and 4, don't contact us. Okay, because we just don't have time for it. So 5, how to get started. Okay, so if you want a peak performance business strategy to maximize your conversion ratio, reduce workload, increase your fees, and attract more high-paying clients, I'm now looking for a few more of my dream clients who want to double or even triple their closing rate, get more leads in, get more deals across the line, and grow their team. Okay, so, really at the end of the day, it's really about working for more money and more freedom. So for a limited amount of time, I'd like to work with you in a marketing strategy session, provided you meet the criteria. Okay, so that's really just us having a 15-minute chat with you. So this is really how it works. So what you do is you click on the button below or the link below in the description. If you're on YouTube, if you're on my funnel, then there's just a button below. And successful candidates, what we'll do is we'll send you through to a Calendly link, and there'll be a handful of questions there. Just fill them out, just so we've got an idea where how to start with you. And we'll jump on a quick 15-minute introductory call or discovery call, we call it, and we'll get a better understanding of your situation and understand if we're really a good fit. And if we are a good fit, and you're also a good fit, and you're someone who we feel like we could help, what we'll do is we'll offer you a 45-minute strategy. So if you get that far, that's great. And in that 45-minute strategy, we will provide you some personal guidance and a full peak performance negotiation offer for the program that will include group coaching and one-on-one coaching. So like I said before, you get the program. You also get a weekly group coaching, but you also have a panic button. So if you want to press that, which is really just sending us a message, we can usually jump on a call within hours. If you send them one at 10 o'clock, this is really just for Australia and New Zealand. Also America, Canada, and the UK are going to be coming online a little bit down the track. So, we're based in New Zealand. So If it's not within the first few hours, if it's Australia and New Zealand, we'll get straight on the call with you. If it's someone in America or Canada or UK, then it could possibly be the next day. But we're there for you. We're there to really hold your hand and get this money in and get these people handled. Is what it's about. Okay, so the true value we'll get out of the strategy session has been worth thousands of dollars to some previous prospects. So some people have come on, have taken our advice, they've gone out, and that's all they've needed. They haven't paid us a penny. So that is an opportunity if that's enough for you. But we're really looking for people who we can help in the program itself. So we need to be a win-win for both of us. So I need to make sure we're both a good fit, and it really comes down to me helping others get the return on investment quickly. You need to be committed, do the work, and the goal is really to get up to 5 figures in the first 30 days. So in the first 30 days, we really want to be getting at least $10,000 in revenue, and then moving up to 90 days, growing from there. So that's what we're looking to do. So just to confirm, I'm looking for coaches and consultants, make at least $5,000 a month. Feel like I've missed out on a few deals. Serious about increasing sales conversions and determined to be the best in their industry. 15-minute call. This is where we're going to start getting to know you. I've explained about that. And the 45-minute strategy call. This is a really, really good call. If you can get on this 45-minute strategy call, the value in this is free of charge. Just a few weeks ago, I was speaking to someone who was on the strategy call. They used that information and they've made more than $10,000 with that information. And if you just need a little bit of a tip or a little bit of a push in one area, then that's what you can do. So either way, provided you qualify for a 45-minute strategy session, you'll have the opportunity to ask me anything you want and get heaps of value. So just a bit of a warning, I'll personally be doing these strategy sessions myself for 1 month only. So I won't be doing it at the end of the month, so opportunity won't be around very long. And we normally take on about 1 in 5 applicants. So if you apply and you don't get through, don't worry, there may be someone else I can actually refer you to. I've got a very, very large network, but I'm really looking for people who have the ability to make decisions fast and know what they want. Okay, so go ahead and click the actual button below this video, or if you're on YouTube, the link in the description, and we'll see you soon. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.